Hello guys, what's up? My name is Aayush Khanna and you are watching our channel Aayush Khanna classes. Now let's start with the income tax amendment for CS, CMA Intermediate or Executive for May or June 2019. Applicable assessment year. Applicable assessment year is 1920 and the previous year 1819. Finance Act 2018. Now let's start. Our very first amendment is from the basic concepts and definition. Okay, in this first, the very first the very first amendment is section 2, subsection 24, definition of income. With this is not much important for your attempts, but I'm just telling you definition of income. Subsection 11A was the same. Okay, in case of conversion of stock in trade, into capital asset, the FMV, that is the fair market value of any inventory, will be included in the income. Then 13, sorry, not 13, it's 17B. Then there's a change. It is any compensation or other payment in section 56 subsection 2 or clause 9th, the definition of income includes this, and that is any compensation or payment made in section 52 subsection 2 clause 9, that is any compensation or payment on the termination of employment or modification of terms of employment. Any compensation or payment on the termination of employment or modification of terms of employment. Termination of employment or modification of terms of employment. Or modification in terms of employment. The next amendment, I don't know why the faculties are saying that it is an amendment. It, as you know, that the applicable Finance Act for your attempt is 2018. So in the Finance Act 2018, the education cess was 3% and 1% health cess was introduced. So in that case, 3% education cess is converted into 4% health and education cess, HEC. If you have seen my lectures, then you might aware that I am taking the 4% HEC. Okay. Now, in residential status, chapter 2, there's some amendments, but these are not relevant for your attempts. Okay, I am skipping that. Then in the agricultural income topic, agricultural income topic, there are no amendments. Then income from salary, important. Income from salary. Now, as you know that the transport allowance was provided to the employee transport allowance. Okay, that is granted to an employee to meet his expenditure for the purpose of uh, commuting between the place of his residence and his place of duty. Transportation. The, under this, the first part was if the employee is blind or is handicapped, then the amount exempt is 3200 rupees per month. But in the second case, as you know that previously, as you know that previously the in all the cases exempt amount shall be rupees 1600 per month. In all of the cases, yeah, 1600 rupees per month. Now, the this statement have been omitted. That is, no exemption shall be allowed. That is, it should be fully taxable. It is fully taxable. No exemption of 1600 per month will be received now. Then standard deduction. Standard deduction for our upcoming attempts is 40,000. As you know, or the amount 40,000. The standard deduction is allowed from gross salary of lower 40,000 or the amount of gross salary, whichever is lower. 40,000 or amount of gross salary, whichever is lower. But there would be some effect in the calculation. There will be some effect in the calculation that was the first salary, calculation of first salary. Second, total income. Please do note because these are very important for MCQ point of view. Clubbing, set off, clubbing, set off, advanced tax, and last TDS. Okay. Now, next, last amendment from salary. What is it? Last exemption, last amendment from the topic of salary. That is the medical prerequisites, medical facilities. Write down. Medical facilities are not taxable. Are not taxable prerequisites. Prerequisites. That is proviso to section 17 subsection 2. Okay, it was that the facilities would be provided in India. Facilities provided in India. In that case, as you know that any type of expenditure reimbursement for himself, for the employer, his family, blah blah blah, for was exempt up to rupees 15,000 per month. Sorry, per annum. 15,000 per annum. Okay. This exemption have been deleted. This exemption have been deleted. Or what is its effects? That is the medical facility. Medical facility reimbursed shall be taxable. That is, no exemption shall be available for medical facilities. No exemption for medical facilities. Okay. Next amendment. House property, income from house property. Amendment. No amendment. No amendment. Next. Income from PGBP. Amendment in income from PGBP. Firstly, the section 28. Section 28. Compensation received or due by. Compensation received or due by the fair market value of inventory as on the date on which it was converted into a capital asset, and any person in connection with the termination or the modification of the terms and conditions of any contract relating to the business. No amendment in this case. In section 43 subsection 1, there is again no amendment. Inventory converted into an asset. Okay, the actual cost for the purpose of calculation of depreciation shall be the fair market value of inventory. Okay, in section 36, section 43 subsection 1 done. Section 36. There is a change. The section 36 was marked to the market losses not allowed. Marked to the market losses not allowed in this. If it is specified, if specified by ICDS, then it is allowed. If it is not as per ICDS, then it will be disallowed under section 40A subsection 13. Okay, 40A subsection 13. Then next section. I think there's no explanation is needed to this section. Section 43 CA. Section 43 CA. FCV in case of land and building. In case of land and building, sold as SIT. In this case, if SDV if SDV is greater than 105%, then of the consideration, the SDV would be equal to PGBP. Would be equal to PGBP. Okay, next section, which may or may not be asked in exams, that is section 43AA. 43AA, gain or loss on foreign exchange rate. Loss on foreign exchange rate. The amendment is, I will not be writing down because the space is finished. Gain or loss may relate to any of the transaction pertaining to monetary or non-monetary. Okay, that is, the gain or loss will be may relate to any of the transaction, whether it is monetary or non-monetary. Like depreciation, you can say it is non-monetary loss. Okay, next. In the capital gains chapter, there are not much amendments, but capital gains, cost inflation index, cost inflation index for the current year is 280. Applicable is 280. You will be given in your exam. In the question you will be provided with. Okay, and there are not much amendments. Yeah. Then uh, in from chapter number, sorry, that is from exempt income, there are some amendments, but that are not so applicable for, that means that is not so very important for your exam point of view. Then TDS or TCS, there are some amendments. TDS or TCS. TDS or TCS. That is, no tax. No tax is required to be deducted at source on interest payable. On interest payable on Power Finance Corporation Limited, on Power Finance Corporation Limited, 54 EC Capital Gains Bond. Capital Gains Bond. The next, interest payable on Indian Railways, Indian Railways Finance Corporation Limited 54 EC capital gain bonds. Okay, these were some tedious amendments. Next, next. Then in return of income, there are some amendments. Return of income, section 140. Uh, the section was who will verify the return? The return in case of SSC. In case SSC has applied for insolvency bankruptcy code, then it must be verified by insolvency professional as appointed by the educating authority. Okay, by insolvency professional. Then section 139 AA. Section 139 AA. Who is not required to hold Aadhaar? Who is not required to hold Aadhaar? Who is not required to hold Aadhaar? First, a non-resident. Second, who is not a citizen of India. Not a citizen. Third, a person attained the age of 80 or above. Okay, these were some amendments for ROI, that is return of income, and one more amendment, that is in case of PAN, section 139 capital A. The amendments are every person resident other than individual whose execute transaction in the financial year exceeded 2,50,000. Whose execute transaction in the financial year exceeded 2,50,000, and every director, member, CEO, or principal office in case of or principal officer in case of company, AOP, BOI, firm, or political party. These are some additional persons who are required to hold PAN. Okay, in clubbing of income, no amendments in set off and carry forward of losses, no amendments in advance tax, no amendments, but in deduction, that is 80C to 80U, there are some amendments. There are some amendments in section 80TTP. Firstly, we will talk about TTA, interest on saving bank account. Interest on saving bank account. In this, it is applicable. Section is not applicable. Not applicable to a senior citizen now. Not applicable to senior citizen. Firstly, it was applicable, but not now. Okay. Section 80 TTB. Section 80 TTB. It is interest on saving bank account. Saving bank account. That is, senior citizen will be eligible for interest on saving bank account on the lower of. This is applicable for senior citizen. This amendment is applicable for senior citizen. Uh, Deduction shall be allowed on lower of actual interest or rupees 50,000, whichever is lower. Okay. Next amendment. In section 80D, the next amendment applies to section 80D. 80D is medical insurance. Medical insurance. This deduction have been exceeded, that is extended, if the assessee takes on him in the name of himself or spouse or dependent child. It would be the actual amount or rupees 25,000, whichever is lower. If he takes on the name of his parents, actual amount or 25,000, whichever is lower. Senior citizen. If he takes in the name of any senior citizen, or that is his parents as senior citizen, then in that case, actual amount or 50,000, whichever is lower. Okay. Or if senior citizen takes in his name. Next, the last deduction for income tax. Last deduction is section 80DD. That is expenditure on specified disease. Expenditure on specified disease. Okay. The deduction depends upon the age of the person, as you know, up to 60 years. Up to 60 years. The amount deduction is actual amount of 40,000, which is lower. Whichever is lower. Next, 60 or above. Actual amount or rupees 1 lakh. Actual amount or rupees 1 lakh. Whichever is lower. 80 and above. It would be actual or rupees 1 lakh. Whichever is lower. 1 lakh. Okay. Earlier the limit was rupees 50,000 in these two cases. Okay, the limit was 50,000. The amendments are over. Okay, you can share the amendments with your friends and so. Thank you.